Welcome into the WCS Sports Connection. I'm your new host, Patrick Whitlock, Williamson County Athletic Director. But the good news is we got our old friend here, Tate Mathews, to take us home.
Well, contract got renewed. This is the third time. Feel very honored and very humble and very grateful that I was able to get those negotiations done again. As I mentioned, the last time I was able to be retained, I believe it has something to do with the level of pay, but that's good.
Well, we'll get into more negotiations as we move forward here.
There's nothing like starting the week off like this, so I'm very happy.
No doubt. So this week marks the start of our fall sports, including cross country, golf, girls soccer, and volleyball, which we'll discuss in more detail next week. But today, it's football. We had our media day a few weeks ago at Mojo's Tacos. We had over 15 media members there. Factory, man, is a great venue. That place has gone over a transformation over the past few years. I know it's a place we like to go eat on a pretty regular basis. Yes. So Mojo's did a great job. Dan Tully, our guy Will Jackson helped us out with the live stream. Lance West, Bobby Borbeck, our good friend from Walker Chevrolet, was there, got to hang out, and the OTL crew. But probably the highlight of the day was our good friend Will Hester kind of breaking things down at the beginning. I don't know if you had a chance to see it, but he did a pretty good job.
Oh, he always does. He's really good at that. And, those of us that know Coach Hester know he's never met a mic that he didn't like, right? So that was right up his alley. But him being the former Ravenwood head football coach and you being the former Ravenwood head men's basketball coach and seeing you together in your new roles, doing that together, I thought that was, one, y'all had great chemistry. You always have, but it was cool seeing you two up there doing that together.
No Ravenwood bias, though. I think we were pretty straightforward.
I think it's almost like you all went out of your way not to have any bias, especially Coach Hester.
Well, I'm early in this job. We're trying to keep everybody happy. It's not always easy, but we'll do our best. So I think one of the interesting things that came up from a lot of media members is they were really pushing the narrative of this new transfer rule that we have in TSSAA. Have you talked to a lot of people across the state regarding that. I mean, how big an impact do you think that's going to have in year one?
I think it's going to have a big impact. I mean, you look at a big impact. You look at some of the schools, and we'll get to them, but let's just Page. They've got two quarterbacks that were not on the team last year. One of the starting quarterbacks at Page last year is now on another WILLCO team. And that's just a few examples, but that not even counting the out of county or the out of district transfers that have come in. So what you thought you knew about a team can change drastically because of how easy it is. I don't even know what to call it anymore. Is it one-time transfer? What is it, right?
Yeah.
Because technically that's not passed. The bottom line is this. If you want to transfer, it's really hard not to get approved. So, we're going to talk again. Brentwood, their starting quarterback this year. He wasn't there last year. So we've named 3 or 4 schools in WCS alone where that has affected maybe the most important position on the field, right? So, I think it's going to be a big part of it. Page has got quite a few. Ravenwood's got quite a few. So, it's going to be a big deal.
Yeah, I mean, it changes the dynamic. When you have winning programs, kids want to come play for those programs. So one thing that hasn't changed is the success we've had in Williamson County. So just a quick 2024 recap. Ravenwood and Page, both region champions. 8 of the 9 Williamson County teams made the playoffs, which is the maximum number you have because you have 5 in that 6A region. Only 4 can make it. We probably expect that to cap out again. Page, again, the runner-up in 5A for the 4th consecutive year. And then 6A, Ravenwood made the semifinals, got beat, kind of an upset at Houston. That was their only loss. But I think the biggest storyline from last year, 2 Mr. Football winners, 5A, Eric Hazard of Page, and 6A, Donovan Starr of Ravenwood, who's now at Auburn.
Right.
I mean, it's the premier county in the state, right, for football?
Oh, no doubt about it, yeah. And then also the other cool thing about it was not only 2 Mr. Football winners, but 2 I guess Donovan played a little bit of offense and special teams, but 2 defensive players. That doesn't happen a whole lot, especially a linebacker defensive end like Hazard. But I think that just goes to show what the voters thought about both of them. That when they win, because the stats, those kind of awards are usually stat driven most of the time, right? And so for 2 defensive guys to win Mr. Football in the 2 largest classifications in 5 and 6A was pretty cool.
Yeah, pretty strong. Now, the other major storyline we have going this season, coaching changes.
A lot of movement.
You got 4 different ones. You got Will Hester now at Brentwood Middle's assistant principal. Kind of weird to say.
Well, hey, I was gonna. What did he wear to game?
He wore a black polo.
Yeah.
Now, in his defense, he texted me that morning. He's like, "What do you want me to wear?" And I told him, "Just wear a polo." I was on the fence. I was gonna wear a polo because I thought I was gonna be sweating like crazy setting it up. I didn't sweat too much.
No, Mojo's got a little air out there.
Yeah, a little air. Yeah. And then so I went and changed in the bathroom like a homeless person and put a tie on. But it happened. But anyway,
I'm struggling with him in the green quarter zips. It's just
it doesn't look right.
It just doesn't look right. All right,
I hope his mom is still watching the show. By the way.
Oh, Mimi's still watching. Well, come on,
shout out. We can't get.
But now she, I don't know, and she used to get mad when you didn't give Ravenwood their props. Now I guess are we back to Brentwood now? Who are we fans of?
I think
now,
she
Mimi?
could probably just enjoy it.
She's a free agent.
Yeah, she just have a good time. So, Will Hester leaves Ravenwood. Ricky Rodriguez takes over his assistant. Jamal Stewart leaves Centennial. Jay Graham, former Tennessee Vol, takes over. Paul Derrick leaves to go be an assistant at Summit. Scott Stidham, who was at Independence, gets the Nolensville job. And then Scott Blade, which I think is probably the most intriguing storyline of all the coaches coming in back at Indy after a ridiculous amount of success the first time. A lot of excitement there. So without giving too much away in our preview and without trying to anger anybody, what coach do you see having the most success in year one? Let's base it on this. What the expectations that are coming in?
I promise I'm going to make this quick, but I will say this. That's kind of a loaded question because of the expectations, right? Ravenwood is expected to win a state championship over there. So anything less, I get, you know what I'm saying?
Tough spot for Coach
Rodriguez. And then, with what's going on at Centennial, Coach Stewart got them back to the playoffs, and Coach Graham's taking over there. So I think the expectation is go to the playoffs there, but maybe not state championship game. Right. If we do, great, So, and then with Nolensville, whether Scott Stidham was the head coach or Paul Derrick was the head coach, Nolensville is, I don't know if they're going to be down record-wise, but they had a run of some Power 4, Power 5 talent through there that rivaled just about anybody. So I think without a doubt, it's Coach Blade for a couple reasons. They got a really good quarterback. And when he's got a really good quarterback, he's tough. And so I think they were going to be really good this year anyways. And then they've got a much more favorable non-region schedule. So I'm going with the Blade Runner.
Yeah, that would probably be my pick as well. Nothing against those other coaches, but expectations super high at Ravenwood. That's tough. Centennial playing in a tough region. Overcoming Page is going to be difficult. And Scott Stidham, a little bit maybe of a rebuilding job at Nolensville. Maybe not some of the athletes that had in the past, but he had a heck of a track record in West Tennessee coming over. He's got an excellent chance to
without a doubt. Well, remember, he was the head coach of the first varsity game in the history of Nolensville. That one year, their only Nolensville game was South Gibson.
Yeah.
Coach Hester was the head coach in Nolensville, and Coach Stidham was the head coach of South Gibson. Yeah. And now here he is, the head coach.
Life's just coming full circle, man.
Small world.
For sure. So
Dr. Looney jumped out of a plane and parachuted the ball in for game day.
I remember.
Are you going to do that?
Probably not. I have a little bit of a fear of heights, and there's no way I'm jumping out of a plane. Gotcha. I make some poor decisions from time to time. That's not going to be one.
Not that one.
Yeah. All right, the Tennessee Super Prep poll came out this morning. Top 25 in the state. 2 Williamson County teams represented Ravenwood, like we kind of mentioned, and we'll get to them more here near the end. Number 5 over on the state. This is all classifications, public and private, and then Page, number 14. A little surprised that they were the only 2 in that poll, but 2 worthy teams. I thought, you look at some other polls throughout social media and things like that, Brentwood kind of slips in there. But Brentwood not listed in that top 25. So those are the 2 schools right there.
Yeah, if you had said top 10, wouldn't have surprised me. But top 20, until I see it, I refuse to believe there's 19 teams better than Brentwood High. But we'll see. Well, and Independence this year.
Yeah, knowing how things play out, I'm sure they'll have their say when it's all said.
Correct.
So
Correct.
Now, the team that's a little bit of an outlier in Williamson County because playing in a smaller classification will also be the WCTV game of the week this week against East Hickman is the Fairview Yellow Jackets. Coach Hughes came to Media Day, led it off. We had to switch his time because he had to take his daughter to UT to move her in. Yeah, move her in. I mean, it got to be a dad, right?
You only get to do that. There's only one first time of that.
I had to help him out there. Couldn't miss that. But I'll tell you, out of all the coaches that were there, he's probably the most engaging. It was really a good way to lead it off. Every year he's been there, they've been to the playoffs, 17 straight appearances. And he's pretty fired up about his team. The Tennessean agrees with him. They pick Fairview to win that region.
Yeah. He's another one. He's never met a Mike that he didn't like, right?
Yeah.
And he's great at it. But I love his candor too. Like 17 straight playoff appearances, and he just ask him. He's kind of got a chip on his shoulder because of last year, because of injuries and some things. They didn't finish up the way they have, and he makes it very clear he has no intentions of the playoffs every time he's been the head coach streak ending this year.
Oh, yeah.
At all.
Yeah, I mean, last year, probably a disappointing season, 4-7, getting knocked out by a very good Liberty Creek team in the first round. But one of the things he focused on when he talked at Media Days, like, we've really changed how we've done things in practice. And kind of the first thing he talked about is, like, we're not taking guys to the ground because I think the injury bug that bit him last year, he wants to avoid that.
Yeah. Well, that's tough. I know the colleges do that now. They call it thud. Right? It's full speed, except once we get to contact, we don't take them to the ground. And I get that, and I agree with it. The problem is, if you're playing in college football, you probably know how to tackle. That's where it gets tough in high school, right? Some of these young guys, it's basketball guy, right?
Yeah.
How do you get good at free throws?
Right. You got to shoot them.
You got to shoot them.
Yeah.
At some point you have to tackle. So yeah, I get it. But yes, he's with the younger guys, but the older guys, you got to take a little bit a different approach. And man, I remember last year. East Hickman is not a gimme anymore like they used to be back in the days. That was a great game going on last year. But what because it gets away from you, you forget. Jackson McCoy, that was the game he went out in and didn't come back. He was like up to 400 yards of total offense in the third quarter. I mean, they were poised to have a really, really big offensive year last year. So Jackson's back. He's healthy. He's feeling good. I think this offense is going to be really explosive this year.
Yeah, that's another thing he talked about is getting his quarterback back.
Yep.
Really excited about that. And, new region opponents, good playoff outlook, potentially a team that could be a sleeper in 3A and make a pretty deep run.
Well, and remember, Pearl Cone left 3A a few years ago.
Right.
East Nashville has always been a problem with them about the third. They went down to 2A. Alcoa's up to 3A. You're right, man. I think they could be I think they could have something to say in the playoffs. Also, 3A is easier than it was. I mean, Alcoa won 10 of them in a row.
Right. Really? Yeah. I mean, that obviously helps. So.
Yeah. So they're all gone. And then on the other side of the ball, they've got Will Frank, their returning all-state linebacker. He had 123 tackles last year. He knows how to tackle. I don't think he needs to tackle in practice. But he's kind of, as explosive of a leader as Jackson will be on the offensive side. Will's kind of that guy on the defense.
Yeah, and just the candor and demeanor between the three players he had, Will being one of them, at Media Day. It's a team that really cares about each other.
Yeah.
And I think, honestly, Fairview is one of the coolest jobs in the county because it's really just kind of this smaller town and community where, like, people are all in. Like, people have been going to games for 50 years there,
Yes.
and you get a little dynamic that you don't get at a Ravenwood or, a Brentwood or some of these other schools. So could be a really exciting year for the Yellow Jackets.
I like their region, too. The new teams you talked about, I think they match up with them really well.
Yeah. Could be a big year. We're expecting big things. So can't wait to talk to Coach Hughes later this week and see what he's got in store for Friday night. All right, moving on to Region 5, 5A. Tennessee and Polar came out, picks Page to win the region, followed by Nolensville, Hillsborough, Centennial, and James Lawson. We did a little informal coaches poll. Centennial actually picked a little bit higher in that coaches poll. Now, we only polled the Williamson County people. I didn't reach out to Metro. I didn't think I'd get much of a response there.
You might have.
Yeah, maybe. It is what it is. But we'll start with the Centennial Cougars, finished 7-5 a year ago, losing to Page in the second round. That's obviously a tough matchup. the big storyline here, well, there's really two of them. But the first is Coach Jay Graham, a guy you're probably pretty familiar with, taking over the reins, former Tennessee Vol, doing a lot of things in the community, trying to get people involved, and generated some excitement around that Centennial program.
Yeah, without a doubt. And if you've heard him be interviewed or talk, man, he's a really good speaker. Really, I guess dynamic would be the word. I like listening to him, man. You can tell you can tell he knows the game of football, but you can also tell he's been around a lot of good people. I mean, when you look at all the people he's worked for, he's been around some Hall of Fame football. I mean, Nick Saban and Jimbo Fisher. You know what I'm saying?
Two pretty good references to put on your resume.
That's right. That's just at the two tops. So, but anyways, when you hear him talk, you can tell he understands the game, and I don't think he'll have a hard time motivating the team.
No.
And again, he was. If you want to go back to as a player now, I mean,
I saw him run over some people. Yeah, I'm not going to show any bias here against the Vols, like I probably will later in some of these broadcasts.
The Commodores did not like seeing number 25 come. So
I'm not pulling up those highlights on you.
But I do think he's got more holes than the rest of them. I don't know if that was because maybe getting the job a little bit later or what. But you mentioned Mitchell Grandjean, who, if he didn't start every game, he started 90% of the games last year for Page, who was the 5A runner-up. So that was big, getting him over there. And he passed for over 1,100 yards and 500 yards rushing, and that was also with them playing another quarterback as well on there too, and him missing some time. So that was a big pickup for them. I think out of all the teams in WCS, they're the biggest question mark because you got a new head coach, you got a new quarterback, you got a lot of new players. There's just a lot of unknown, an entirely new coaching staff.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, sometimes that provides you with a lot of upside.
That's right.
Low expectations, maybe. I mean, probably not within that program, but again, like we really don't know playing in a tough region. One team they're going to have to try and get by is Nolensville Knights, coming off a 7-5 season, fell to Shelbyville, who's now a 6A team. Again, new coach Scott Stidham, guy that I have a lot of respect for. I think will got into a really good situation. And they are led by 6'4" wide receiver Oliver Bender, who's the number 78 senior, according to the Tennessean. 3-star prospect, has offers from Syracuse, Pitt, Austin Peay, Miami, Ohio. Anytime you got a playmaker like that, it should help your offense.
Oh, without a doubt, yeah. Now they just got to find the right guy to get it to them, which they think they do. Well, let's say this before going into this week. They weren't 100% decided yet, but obviously by the time this show's aired, they better know who their starting quarterback is.
I'm pretty sure he's got an idea.
We've got problems.
And if he doesn't, he's probably not going to talk about it publicly, right?
That's right.
Gotcha.
So, but yeah, no, Oliver's a guy who can make plays, big plays, and you just got to find a way to get him the ball. And then, the guy I always like, Coach Derek talked about him about last year, is Josh Hicks.
Oh, yeah.
Plays running back and DB. Just that guy, man. He's kind of like the old days. Now you can't do that anymore, but he'd play every snap if you'd let him. Like he'd never come off the field, So they're going to have he and Tristan at the running game. They're going to have to help out the passing game. And Coach Stidham knows how to throw the ball, but if there's one thing he knows how to do, that's run the ball. So it's going to be fun to watch. Yeah, and Shelbyville, golly, thanks TSSAA. Shelbyville had a really nice thing going. Them and Coffin County get
move them up into one of the toughest regions in the state. I'm sure they're pumped.
That job's not as good as it once was, right?
No.
But Shelbyville was really good last year, so they're gone. But even if they weren't, they wouldn't look like they do now. So I'm excited. I think everybody's okay with this. It's just the way it is sometimes. I think Nolensville is a great fit for Coach Stidham.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a really good situation. Chance for him to go in there and potentially compete with the team that everybody knows about, the Page Patriots. Now, I think one of the interesting things, Coach Rathbone at Media Day, and I think this is sad that where we're at in society right now, but he referenced it probably a couple times. A lot of people throwing shade their way because they've been runner-up 4 times. Now, first of all, to get to a state championship 4 times, I don't know anything about that, but it'd be great if I did. But just to be there 4 times is difficult. I know this is the year they really feel like they can silence everybody. And he's got his son, Jacob Rathbone, a commit to Central Arkansas, number 62 ranked player in the senior class, according to the Tennessean.
Yep. Two-way player.
Yeah, 6'3", 285. How sweet would it be to silence everybody coaching your son in his senior year?
I think it would be awesome, man. And yeah, I mean, again, we live in a world where people like to. Some people, they just want to complain about something, man. They just want to complain. You know, the Buffalo Bills. I'm pretty sure Marv Levy's in the NFL Hall of Fame, Pro Football Hall of Fame.
I would think so.
I'm pretty sure Jim Kelly and Bruce Smith and Andre, what's his name, Lofton? Yeah. Thurman Thomas. I'd say they're all. Anyways,
pretty solid team.
Yeah, I mean it's tough, and it's just the way they've lost them. You know, one of them, two of them, they weren't the better team. The last couple, man, you know, they were in it. Just breaks didn't go their way. So
yeah, it's tough. I mean,
it's tough, man.
It's just been there, done that. You know, your heart's broken. You're always wanting more.
That's right.
I imagine if Coach Rathbone is able to win it this year, then he's going to be like, well, I want to win 2 in a row. You know, you're never satisfied as a coach, which is the beauty of coaching.
And because we're all guilty of it, right? But you get there and you lose the last one. But, you know, you think about some of those games they've won just to get there, the comebacks, you know, that they've had. So, I mean, the coaches and the players remember that. But I tell you, man, they are kind of sounds funny because they lose a Mr. Football, and then they got a UT. Well, he's a player now, and Brendan Haynes. I don't know. This team feels like they might even be better.
They're super talented.
They're super talented. We were talking about the transfer. They got not one but 2 quarterback transferred in, Cameron Cruz and Drew Rimple, and they have both. You want to talk about it? That's probably the best QB. If there's a battle, you know, some places there's not a battle, but that's probably the best QB battle going on in the entire mid-state, maybe the whole state. So Cameron's played well enough to deserve to be number 1. Drew's played well enough to deserve to be number 1. They both make big plays, and one thing that's been consistent with both of them is Caden Ackerman, who kind of got on the map last year at wide receiver. He's having another really big year, but I don't know, man. I think they might be better skill, and then the offensive line. There's some new faces, but Jacob's going to be a 4-year starter, or Jake, Coach Rathbone's son. He's nasty. And mean that in a good way.
Oh yeah.
He's borderline.
You got that little edge to him.
He's borderline. Hey man, you're running the risk of getting a flag. And Jordan Curl, another one, man, big 6'4", 300-pounder, and so. I like this Page team a lot. I think, can it be the year? Of course it can be. Will it? I think if they stay healthy, I don't know of anybody else out there that can beat them. And then we named all those people. You want to talk about a high school football game? Knight Wilson might be their best player.
Yeah.
So
the highest rated of the group. I mean, in a roster just littered with college talent, number 48 in the Tennessean, the Air Force commit. One of my favorite moments of media day was when he was asked about his commitment to Air Force. And he spoke about just being able to serve his country, man. It was I mean, there's obviously, I'm kind of just paraphrasing what he said, but it was a proud moment to be like, that kid represents our county.
Correct.
And he's going to be a future leader. I mean, he's a really impressive guy. As like, you know, we didn't really talk about at the beginning, but Bobby Borbeck, our guy at Walker Chevrolet, when we saw him last week, he's like, man, I've never seen a group of kids represent their schools in such fine fashion. But if I had to pick my favorite moment from media day, it'd probably be Knight Wilson talking about his commitment to Air Force. Yeah, it was awesome. So hopefully this is the year for the Patriots. No slight to Centennial or Nolensville, but a lot of expectations out there in Rudderville. Yeah. We'll see how it plays out.
Well, I think when they voted, if they voted honestly, they had to have picked them number 1 too. They are. They're the favorite. Yeah. They just are.
On paper, they're a nasty team. All right, moving on to Region 6A. Tennessean predictions: Ravenwood, Brentwood, Indy, Franklin, and Summit round out the top 5, followed by Shelbyville and Coffee County. Now, media day, all the 6A coaches had a lot of praise for Shelbyville, who came within a couple possessions of beating Page last year, and Coffee County finished the year pretty strong. So it's going to be a really tough region. Obviously, probably not ideal for Shelbyville and Coffee County. A little bit of travel involved there.
More so Coffee County than Shelbyville.
But yes, but anyway.
By the way, you're a very intellectual person. So
thank you.
You're going to have to, with your Vanderbilt degree, and which I mean that you are. but you're going to have to. It's not Shelbyville. They get really upset about that. It's Shelbyville.
Shelbyville.
There you go.
I can work on it.
There you go.
Hey, Whit Taylor.
That's right.
My favorite Vanderbilt player when I was 5 years old. It's the first season I really remember, and they were actually good that year.
Probably. I mean, I know Jay Cutler. He's got to be the greatest Vanderbilt. Okay, Bill Wade.
Right. Well, nobody. I mean, come on. That's
Right.
a long time ago.
Right. And they were passing like 4 times a game. Yeah, Whit Taylor's got to be the greatest Vanderbilt quarterback of all time.
Yeah, I mean, you talk about a guy that could throw it and run it.
Yep.
Running the option with old Watson Brown as the offensive coordinator back in 1982. That was a fun time. Anyway, we digress. We'll start with the Summit Spartans coming off a 3-7 season. I think the biggest thing they have going for them if they're going to make some noise is their coach, Coach Coleman.
Yep.
A lot of success, 2020 state champion at the 5A level, runner-up in 2019, runner-up in 2021. He's going to have to perform probably one of his better coaching jobs to get this team moving up the pecking order in this region.
Yeah, but I think the other cool thing is he's been doing it so long now, and it's been fun to watch him. You know, when he got his first head coaching job at Forest, he was young, and then he wasn't there very long, and then got the Summit job. You know, he kind of
1 year, I believe, right?
That was Kreisky.
Oh, that was Kreisky. Okay.
He kind of learned on the fly, or maybe it was Coleman, wasn't it? It was one of them. Yeah. But he learned how to be a head coach on the job. What I'm saying is, what's been pretty cool is, what's one of the hardest things of being a head coach in high school now is getting good assistants, right? Well, he's been there so long, and his staff
It's legit.
is legit. He's got Kerry Collins over there. You know, Coach Kurt Taylor does a magnificent job of defense coordinator. Now you got Paul Derrick over there as an assistant as well.
Alex Melton, two
Alex
former head coaches in the county.
Right, man. So what I'm saying is, not only is he a very good coach, this is the best coaching staff he's ever had. So they feel like they're going to be better. They've been traditionally a wing T team, which they'll never totally get away from that. That's what he believes. And that's what he knows, and they're going to be based in that. But Davis Smith is going to be their quarterback, at least early on. He's a sophomore, and he can throw it a little bit. So I think you're going to see a little bit more passing than you have the past couple of years. And then my man, Zach Lamb, I don't know if you've been seeing it on Twitter, but Mrs.
I've seen it.
Mrs. Lamb's baby boy, he sprouted up, but he has been on fire this preseason, man. He's been their number one target. He's taken a couple to the house. Big, tall guy. They're bringing him over the middle and sitting him down on some hooks and curls, and he's been catching the ball and advancing the chain. So, I think you're going to see a little bit more passing out of the Spartans, and look for Zach Lamb to have a really big year.
Yeah, poised to have a breakout season.
Yeah.
All right, next on the list, the Franklin Admirals, 6-6 in Coach Adkins' first year. I would say his first year overwhelming success. Got knocked out by Ravenwood in the second round. The game was pretty competitive up until about halftime. They just kind of ran out of gas and a little bit out talented against that Ravenwood team. But I think, from a coaching standpoint, obviously, we got some beards here, but he's got probably the sweetest beard.
He's got a good one, man. He's got a good one.
Even the media was talking about it at Media Day. But a heck of a first year. Now, the clear storyline for them, Dandy Dozen player Luke Thompson, Tennessee commit, 600 yards receiving, 8 touchdowns, 64 tackles, and 3 interceptions. He is ranked as the number 44 athlete nationally, not state of Tennessee, nationally. Good pickup for the Vols. When you got a guy like that, it gives you opportunity, right?
Yeah. By the way, are you watching Any Given Saturday on the SEC?
Yes, I've already watched the entire series.
I keep trying to figure out a way to work unfiltered into this, unfiltered cigarettes.
Yeah, probably not a good idea.
Are you not on that episode yet?
No, not yet.
You'll know.
I've kind of skipped through some of them, I can only tolerate so much of some of those coaches. Like Brian Kelly, I can't stand it. Him and Hugh Freeze, man, I just can't handle it.
Whoever hired him in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, I just still don't understand. And I know what they're saying. Well, Saban was no, that was different. Anyways.
It's different. But yeah.
I can't wait for you to see it. You'll know what I'm talking about.
Well, I have to go watch it tonight, I guess.
It has to do with recruiting and anyways. But, yeah, I think what he did last year was unbelievable. Came in and just the energy level around the program and around the team that he brought to it. So, but that's not changing. That senior class had really been taking their lumps for the past 3 years. And I mean, I think one of the most underrated, we were talking about it the other day. I think one of the most underrated people last year was Brewer Wilson, man.
Oh, for sure.
That guy was a competitor and a winner, and he had, some really good targets, and Lucas Young and Wills Jackson, and then obviously Luke Thompson as well. So they're going to have to find. In my opinion, Luke is a college secondary player.
Yeah.
I think it was against Centennial, that interception he went over and tracked and got. That was a good looking play.
I was at that one.
Point being, they're going to have to find. He's going to have to be more involved on offense, I think, than maybe even defense this year.
Yeah, for sure.
Because they're going to have to find a way to get him the ball.
Yeah, Coach Adkins, underrated job in year one.
Yep.
Building some momentum, changing the mentality. Excellent segue into the next thing we're going to talk about at the end of Vince Eagles. We've already kind of touched on Coach Blade's return.
Yeah.
State champion coach. Been in some really successful programs. It's funny, living in the downtown Franklin area, I run into people from West Haven a lot. They got kids that play for Coach Blade. And just the way that people are talking about the program this year, It's a little different. People are excited he's back.
He's back. Well, did you see what happened in the Lebanon scrimmage?
No, I did not.
So they go, this is the most Blade thing ever, right? So they scrimmaged Lebanon last week. They're down 27-0 in the first quarter. Now, Independence has 2 called back, but they're called back. They don't count. Things aren't going real well. They score 4 touchdowns in the second quarter, end up winning that scrimmage 28-27. And remember, in the first quarter, they had 2 called back. What I'm telling you is they're really explosive again. And Hendricks Harvey and George Mayberry and Hunter Mullen at wide receiver, they're all guys that can make plays. And I remember when Coach Blade came back, I was talking to him, and I said, what do you think about your quarterback, Matt Horner? He said, I think he can be the best one that's ever played here. And he said, can be. He didn't say will be. But
correct.
He said, I think he can be the best one that's ever played here. I said, golly.
Yeah, 6'6" quarterback. At media day, Joe Williams asked, I believe it was Joe, maybe it was Charles. They asked Coach Blade, they're like, was this going to be the return of Eagle Air? And he kind of paused for a minute, smirked, and said, oh, yeah.
It's the only way he knows how to do it, yeah.
So
it wouldn't be any fun for him to do it anyway.
Right. You got to go with what you know. It's going to be exciting to see that transition. We'll talk about just the level of coaching in this county here in a few minutes. Now, a couple more teams. The Brentwood Bruins.
Yep.
On paper, picked second, coming off a 9-3 season. A really tough loss to Stewart's Creek. Really disappointing loss in the second round. I kind of think maybe they were had their eyes ahead, thinking like we got Ravenwood next week if we win that. And you touched on earlier, sophomore transfer Gavin Strang, transfer from Lausanne, private school out of Memphis. Pretty good reputation out there. He's going to be out for a little while.
Yep.
So they're going to start Parker Emerson, a junior, who's a defensive back. And I think Coach Finch's exact quote at media day was, well, Parker Emerson throwing a couple of touchdowns in a scrimmage wasn't on my bingo card. So probably a little bit of a adjustment there. If anybody can make that happen, it's Coach Finch. Defense replacing 8 of 11 starters, a defense that only gave up about 12 points a game last year. Brentwood is Brentwood. They're going to be tough.
Yep. They're going to be tough. They're going to be fundamental. They're going to be sound. And going back to the very first thing you asked at the beginning of the show, transfer. What does that look like on this, okay? So Brentwood going into the season had 2 quarterbacks, right? And then Gavin is going to be the starter, and then the other quarterback transferred. I'm not saying right, wrong. That's, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
All I'm saying is in the old days, that doesn't happen. You've got 2 quarterbacks, okay? And Parker's a heck of a football player, a great athlete. The problem is he's not a quarterback, and he's your best. He's one of your best, if not your best, defensive players. Well, now, while he's playing quarterback, you can't get him hurt over there. So it affects 2 things now, right? So, but yeah, Brentwood High, they're going to be able to run the football. They're going to play great defense. And I think more than anybody, you mentioned losing the 8 out of 11 starters, especially on the defensive side. I feel like Brentwood does that more than anybody else, and everybody will tell you. they're always going to play good defense over there.
Yeah, I feel like as being in the county for 20 years, it seems like every year different faces, same result.
That's right.
It's Coach
They
Crawford,
all look alike.
Coach Finch, whoever it is, they just make it happen. Well, speaking of making it happen, we'll wrap up here with the Ravenwood Raptors. Finished 13-1 last year. Tough loss to Houston in the semifinals. They have 40 seniors on this roster, and in that top 100 that came out from the Tennessean, they got 4 guys on that list. Got a pretty big impact transfer that came in from Lipscomb. Sky's the limit for this team.
Yeah. Yeah, well, and like we mentioned, the sky's the limit for this team. And like we mentioned, that's the expectation, is to bring home a gold ball from Chattanooga on Saturday night at about, 9:30, 9:45. So they're loaded, man. Talk about some people not having any quarterbacks, and they've got 2, and Femi Babalola and also Maverick Chance. I think we can say this, Mav probably won't play quarterback week 1, maybe not even week 2.
Yeah.
So it'll be Femi going the whole way, at least this week,
Yep.
and then probably next week as well. But can you imagine that, the luxury of that, having those 2? But
And 2 vastly different skill sets.
yes, right. They're different.
They can both throw it. They can both run it. But obviously, one's a better passer and one's a better runner.
Right.
Maverick Chance has never met a linebacker he didn't want to run over.
He's very Tebow-esque.
Yes,
he's looking for the contact.
He brings the contact rather
Yeah,
than avoids it. I know that kind of drove Coach Hester nuts a little bit and
Hey.
led to some of his issues.
Right.
Missing some games and things like that. I do think the second best moment of media day was Coach Rodriguez talking about Maverick Chance, who's committed to Navy, and he's like, "Hey, his name is Maverick, and he's going to play at the Naval Academy. Does it get any better than that?
Yeah.
If he rooms with Goose, we got something going."
Oh man, we can make another movie.
For sure. Another standout on that defense, Jalen Pollard, son of Bernard Pollard. There was an article in Tennessean about him this past week where Jalen said he thinks he hits harder than his father. I'm going to have to disagree with him after watching his father for a while. Not trying to start any family feuds there. Western Kentucky commit, had 3 defensive touchdowns last year. Pretty impressive. But I think the X factor is Danny Brown, the 6'3" edge rusher, defensive lineman from Lipscomb, getting recruited at a pretty high level. I know West Virginia and some other Power 5 schools have offered him. He looks the part, and he was a basketball kid. So before I moved on to this role, I got to coach him a little bit. And you talk about a kid that plays with a high motor and embraces contact.
You're excited about him? Is that what you're saying?
I am. I would have been. I mean, good for them.
Yeah.
Not my decision anymore. But whatever. I think he's going to have a big impact.
Maybe the biggest transfer in the county.
Could be.
Could end up being the biggest transfer, the biggest story. He really changes that defensive line. He gives them a guy that you got to double team and things like that. He gives them a guy that the other teams have to scheme around.
Yeah.
Okay. And then back to Pollard. I don't know if he hits as hard as his dad, but he hits harder than anybody else out there on that field. You got to know where he is.
I wouldn't want to come across
You
the
gotta
middle
know
with
where
him
he
lurking
is.
back there. That's all I know. Probably the biggest question mark for Ravenwood, their offensive line.
Yep.
I don't know that the confidence level is where it needs to be. Obviously, good coaching staff over there. They can coach them up a little bit, but talent across the board. So before we get to the pick'em and get ready to wrap up show number 1 here, any bold predictions for this year in Williamson County football? Any shocking things you want to throw out there?
Yeah, I'll give you one.
Okay. And we didn't discuss this ahead of time, so you might be stealing mine. We'll see.
Well, you want to go first?
No, go ahead.
You're the executive producer.
It's all good.
I think Indy finishes number 2.
All right.
That was yours?
That was it. Yeah.
I gave you.
I got 2 though.
Okay.
I got 2. I think Indy potentially bumps off Brentwood, finishes second.
Okay.
I think Brentwood wins the initial Battle of the Woods on October 30th.
Wow. Now that's a take.
I mean, people are going to be like, "You're just overcompensating against Ravenwood," but I think the timing of it, you're going in the playoffs.
I feel like I'm in a WWE. Are you being a heel here?
No,
Or this is legit.
this is real.
Okay.
It's
all right.
on record.
You also said the initial. That leads me to believe you think there's going to be 2.
There could be.
Okay.
Yeah. I
Gotcha.
mean, look, matching up against Metro in that first round. I know the playoffs have changed a little bit. You're going to get some Memphis matchups in those potentially second, third rounds, but I expect Williamson County teams to make a run.
Hey, I'll make this real quick, but a lot of changes in WCS. A lot of changes on this show now. A lot of changes we've got a brand new district athletic director. Sports Connection, it'll evolve under your leadership just like it has the other ones. But one thing that has not changed, real quick, the Boat Race City 101 rules that were brought into, I don't know if law, not whatever, put into effect.
Standard operating procedures is what we call it.
SOP.
Yes.
Boat Race City 101. And there's a copy of this that if you'll, I think you got to do a public records
Put it
report.
on the website. I don't know.
Public records, of course, you can get it. But number one, there's no WILLCO on WILLCO crime. If you don't know what that is, you need to start watching the show. Anyways, we don't boat race each other. Okay, it might happen, but we don't.
We'll be upset.
We don't talk about it. Number two, a team must win by 30 points or more. No, 30 points is now what the running clock is.
Correct.
Hence, that's why now Boat Race City. There must be a Tate Mathews approves body of water accessible to said high school. That way the coach can get on the boat, have the boat race. And number four, probably the most important, all boat races are final. Do not at me, do not at Coach Whitlock. All complaints for Boat Race Cities are still directed to the same place, and that is jeremy.qualls@wcs.edu.
Yeah. Qualls just can't get away from the show, but
Well, he's pretty good at it.
he is. He's
good at the complaint
Godfather.
He's
Yeah.
the Godfather.
He's the Godfather.
Actually, he's not.
Well,
Jack Daniels and Ringstaff did it, but he changed the game.
he did.
Yeah.
We'll get more into that next week.
Yes.
Anyway, all right, let's do our pick'ems here real quick. No Williamson County matchups in week one due to these regions changing. First game we'll look at, in my opinion, probably one of the better games here. Brentwood versus Smyrna. Who you got?
Smyrna's better than they have been in the past couple years, but they're still not the Sonny Gray. What was his name? Rodriguez Wilkes. Remember him? Who's the wide receiver?
They ain't walking through that door.
Sonny Gray's not there.
It's not 2006.
But Brentwood's, like you mentioned, I think Brentwood's got a lot of question marks. But I come on, man. It's Brentwood Smyrna. I got to go with the Bruins.
Yeah, I got the Bruins too. I think they get a double-digit win. All right. Centennial at Stewart's Creek. Pretty solid Stewart's Creek team. You know, in a week where we got no WILLCO matchups, I would love to just go down the list and be like, we're going 9-0. Tough first game for Coach Graham. They can do it, but I'm going to go Stewart's Creek.
Got Stewart's Creek. Well, I think you're probably right. Remember, they put Brentwood out last year in the playoffs. They've really got a nice. They're part of the reason why Smyrna isn't the Smyrna of old. They've got a bunch of those kind of players that they used to have there. So I agree with you. I just don't think it's a great first game for Centennial. Coach Graham and them will be just fine. But I'm going with. Do you even know what Stewart's Creek? Yeah, you gotta know, right?
What their nickname is?
Yeah, what their mascot is.
Is it the Eagles?
Red Hawks.
Red Hawks. It's a bird.
It's a bird. A bird of
prey.
prey.
A bird of prey. Curved beak.
That's right.
Thank you, Dr. Vaden, for teaching me that. All right. Learn something new every day. All right. Fairview at home against East Hickman, the WCTV game of the week. Who you got?
This is not a give me. I'm just telling you, East Hickman's had their number the past couple of years, but that's how much I believe in. Had McCoy not gotten hurt last year, they were going to beat them. They were going to be explosive. I'm going with the Yellow Jackets.
I got Fairview as well. We're really not much diversity in these picks so far.
No,
Franklin,
not much separation.
Franklin at Laverne.
I hate to be rude because I really like what that guy's doing over there. He's doing a really good job getting the interest and the participation back. Not only am I going with the Admirals, this is boat race. This is week one boat race city, popcorn out in the third quarter.
Yeah, you hate to see it, but in this case, you love to see it. Yeah, I got the Admirals as well. All right, Indy at Rockville.
I think you're up first.
Oh, that's right. I'll go with, it's the return of Scott Blade.
The Blade Runner?
I'm not going against the Blade Runner in game one.
It's at Rockville, right?
It's at Rockville.
They got a new turf.
Well, that's going to
Warner
be good
Athletic
for
turf.
It's going to be good for Eagle Air.
That's where
Running
I'm
by
going.
him.
That's where I'm going. No weather. You're going Indy.
Oh, 100%.
Independence.
100%.
So here's the deal. Rockville, turf, plays a little faster. If there's any elements, we don't have to worry about it. And you might have just brought the fastest show in turf. Now, I'm pretty sure when they scheduled this game, Coach Stidham and Coach Guthrie were the head coaches, right? So
Right.
Coach Counts, he likes to play a little bit slower game, ground and pound. He's a former offensive lineman, you know. Man, I don't think they know what's coming. I'm not going to say James Counts' team's going to get boat raced, but I'm going with the Independence Eagles, and I do think it's 17 to 20 points.
There you go. There you go. All right. Nolo hosting Lebanon.
Jimmy Mack approved.
He did. He did. Maybe he'll watch the show now.
He watches it. He's
You're right. He's jealous.
Man, I got to do. This is a competition, and I got my tail kicked the last 2 years by coach, a flipping basketball guy, right? And now I'm up here with another basketball guy.
B-ball guy here.
So I don't like doing this, but I just feel like this is a bad week one matchup, and I think Lebanon's got a little something. I'm going with the Blue Devils.
All right. Now we got some deviation. I'm going with the Knights.
I thought you would.
Coach Stidham going to get it done game one. All right.
You'll be up 1-0.
Well, we'll see. We still got a few left here. Page at Giles County. Okay, I'm going with Page. I don't know much about Giles County. When I was looking over my calendar of which game I'm going to go to this weekend, this did not even come close to making the cut.
Oh, there's a great meeting 3. It's called the
Look,
Hippie
I have a
House.
lot of family from Giles County.
Oh, you do?
That's where my dad was from. Anyway.
Operative word.
Yes.
Was.
Yeah.
Never wanted to go back.
We hadn't made it down there too much. I got a great aunt still alive. She's like 100 down there.
Nice.
Collects like weird dolls and stuff. Anyway, I don't want to get into it. All right. So I got Page.
Paige,
All right.
are you willing to say Boat Race City?
I am.
30. You know, they took them to overtime a few years ago.
Well, that was a few years ago.
You don't care about that?
No.
Okay. I'm just making sure you have all the information.
Not with this Page roster.
All right, I'm going.
I know you're the football guy.
I'm going Paige.
All right. Ravenwood going to Mississippi. Madison Ridgeland Academy. A lot of Raptor faithful flying down to Jackson.
That's what I heard.
Yeah. A little Friday flight.
I don't want to give
via
too much
Southwest.
information, but I think there's a pretty important Ravenwood figure flying.
Well, somebody scheduled open house on Thursday night, so she's going to have to fly down on Friday. Anyway.
Where is it?
I think it's just north of Jackson. I'll be honest,
Gotcha.
I do not know. I try to stay out of the state of Mississippi as much as possible. This is not something new. If you had my class, you'd be like, we got it.
Got it. I think you're up. No, I'm up.
You're up.
Okay. Do you know the little inside story here? The Coach Davis,
Yes.
the offensive coordinator first-year offensive coordinator at Ravenwood,
Second-year coach, first-year offensive coordinator. His dad
is
the head coach.
Coach Herbert Davis of MRA.
Yeah. Legend, evidently, in
Legend.
Mississippi.
Pretty cool, man.
Yeah. Nice little story.
I
Probably not going to try and take it easy on his son.
guarantee he's
Yeah.
not.
No, definitely not.
But I don't think they care. I'm telling you, man. I think this defense is different, and I think they're going to go. I think they're going to win the gold ball, but I think they stubbed their toe at this one. I'm going MRA. Plus, I know you're going Ravenwood.
I am going to go with the Raptors. I was really torn on this one. I think it's tough. It's a long road trip. You know, offensive line questions. I was really torn on that one, but I'm going with the Raptors. I'll probably see Coach Rodriguez this week. I don't want to deal with. I don't want to deal with it. You know what I'm saying?
I don't blame you.
You know.
Well, that's not fair.
Yeah. I'm just going with them. All right, last one. I'll start here. Summit at Spring Hill. Summit. It's Spring Hill.
This is. Hey man, Jimmy Young and his muscle T-shirt in there watching Bonanza. Normally, the Andy Griffith Show has kicked on over on whatever channel he watches.
Channel 30.
He watches Bonanza and Gunsmoke every day. Normally, it's over and it's kicked over to the Andy Griffith Show by the time the game's over because it's Boat Race City. Well, guess what? Getting ready to be again. Summit starts the season off with a boat race. If I'm Spring Hill, I know it's a nice gate. I'm getting out of this thing.
Yeah. Everybody gets out early and gets up early on Saturday morning. There you go.
That's right.
All right, well, that's going to wrap up my first episode of Sports Connection. Next week, we'll get into some of the other fall sports, golf, cross country, all sports which we expect Williamson County teams to dominate, and then we'll have a recap of this football weekend. Pretty exciting. We have sports. We have high school sports for the next 33 weeks.
That's awesome. It's really exciting. Be thinking about it between now and next week. I think we agree we legitimately have a chance for a state champion in football. Maybe two. Okay. Got to think we're going to get one in volleyball. I really like our soccer chances this year. And
Brentwood boys golf is probably, out of all the teams in Williamson County in the fall, probably the head above favorite to win that. Page girls golf-wise is going to be pretty good.
Yep.
Cross country, obviously Williamson County always pretty dominant, and then girls soccer. Ravenwood a few years ago, the number 6 team in the region or district goes to the state championship game. I mean, a lot of talent in this county.
I think we got a chance to get 4.
Yeah, we could. We could just do
maybe 5.
I mean, we'll see. That would be fantastic. Year 1, new leadership, 5 championships. Let's go. Anyway, thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you again next week.